So now I can focus on your question, Lamp. Yes, but Queen Jack, flop, King Queen 4. It wasn't too much to think of that. If you bet, you might get re-raised. You mean check raised, not re-raised. It's true, you might get check raised, but your average check raise from a player is maybe 10 to 12%. So recognize people are afraid of raises more than they should be. The average player is too afraid of raises. This is a Here we go. This is a great question and good opportunity, I think, for dropping some knowledge. Most players, I'd say on average, especially ones I coach, are just a little too worried about getting raised or check raised. So there's a couple more specific reasons. I'll give you some reasons that'll hopefully help you guys. Because what it does when you're afraid of check raises, you clam up, right? You don't bet as much as you should. You become a more passive player. And from the other side, it's really nice if you can manage to strike fear into your opponents that you're going to check raise them a lot, and that's why it's actually good to check raise a lot. Then they give you a lot of free turns because they check back, right? So don't be afraid of the check raise. On average, it happens. The average players play check raising under 10%, I'd say. Better players are over 10%. So you're looking at like a 1 in 10 shot, right? Also, he was the pre-flop raiser. So raising pre-flop and check raising the flop is a pretty non-standard play. So that's going to happen even less, far less, right? If he had, the board was King Queen X double suited, right? So if he had a flush draw, it's pretty weird to check raise a flush draw. He's either going to bet or check call. If he had Jack 10, he's probably just going to bet. He's going to have so many value hands he wants to bet. And I'm going to have so many hands that I'm going to check back, like Queen X usually, that it makes way more sense for him to, instead of building a whole check raising range that's balanced, to just lump it all into a betting range, right? The betting for value and betting with bluffs, right? And it's just an easier strategy to implement, because as soon as you have a check raising strategy, that's like all this extra work you have to do, right? If you're going to have an elaborate check raising strategy there. So the vast majority of players are just going to be betting or check calling or check folding. I mean, sure, people check raise a lot, but it's usually not when they're the pre-flop raiser, right? Again, that's just kind of a non-standard. So good question, and way to stay on me until I answered your question.